I just wanted just a couple comments about what's going to happen next in our program. As a member organization, Southeastern operates with a set of bylaws, and the bylaws state that each year on the first Friday in June, which is today, we will have a membership meeting. So over time and overall, this annual meeting has become a social event. Earlier during our pre-meeting chatter, we were talking about everybody wants to go back to the Culinary Institute next year and have brunch. So, overall, it's a social event, it's a networking event, it's an opportunity for you all to get together, but we still need to, have a little bit of business. So then I'm going to turn it over to Mary Ellen, who's going to run the business meeting. So thank you.
Thanks, Tessa. So we're now going to officially open the 54th annual Southeastern membership meeting, the business portion of that meeting. There are 2 business items that are performed during this section of the meeting. We approved the minutes from last year's meeting, and we announced new trustees and officers for the coming year. So the approval of the minutes from the June 5th, 2020 annual meeting that we held last year by Zoom. I believe that's going to be posted. Yes. There you go. There are our minutes from that meeting. So take a few minutes just to look at those. I'll give you an update on how we do minutes. We no longer take a vote of who approves, who doesn't. Everyone who is reviewing them that is a member can, if they see something that needs to be edited, please tell us that, raise your hand, yell it out. I'm not sure what the decorum is we're using this morning to get those questions out. But if anybody has any concerns about what the minutes say that are currently up on the screen, please do so now. So if there are no edits or objections to the minutes as presented, they are so approved at this point. We are not going to vote on that. The next item is the a report from the trustee nominating an officer committee. And I'd like to introduce Gina Trask, who is the current chair of that committee. Gina.
Thank you, Mary Ellen, and good morning, everyone. I want to thank all the governing members who participated in this year's online election. On behalf of the trustee and officer nominating committee, I have the pleasure to report that 7 people have been elected to Southeastern's Board of Trustees. The newly elected trustees are Dr. Carla Lesh, Collections Manager and Digital Archivist from the Hudson River Maritime Museum, Beth Zambito, Head of Adult Services from the Newburgh Free Library, Ellen Rubin, Retired High School Library Media Specialist, Floyd Latin, Retired Finance Professional, Mary Jo Russell, Knowledge Resources Librarian at Newbants Health, Vassar Brothers Medical Center, Lori Shedrick, the Assistant Director, Technology Operations Manager at Mid-Hudson Library System, and Kirsten Carter, Supervisory Archivist at the Franklin D. Roosevelt Library and Museum. So please give a round of applause and congratulations to our new trustees who will all begin their terms on July 1st. Now I would like to announce the slate of officers for the 2021-2022 Board of Trustees. President, Mary Ellen Limer. Vice President, myself, Gina Trask. Secretary, Becky Albitz. Treasurer, Ellen Rubin. And the Assistant Secretary Treasurer, Floyd Latin. This slate will be voted on later this afternoon during the board's meeting. I invite you all to thank our colleagues who have kindly volunteered their time and expertise to serve as officers. Thank you. Now back to Mary Ellen.
Thank you, Gina. So that concludes the business portion of our annual meeting. And I'm going to now turn it back to Tessa.
Thanks, Mary Ellen. Thanks, Gina. All right. So at this point, we want to recognize a trustee who's going to be leaving the board. She has one more meeting today and then she's done. This is Amy Schuler. So we want to recognize Amy for her service to the Southeastern community. Amy has served on the board for 2 terms for a total of 10 years. She started in July 2011. In that time, Amy was the liaison from the board to the Digital Advisory Committee for a number of years, where she worked with Jen and the committee to migrate our collections from HRVH to New York Heritage. Amy served as treasurer and chair of the Finance Committee for 5 years, helping the staff with new policies, budgets, and signing countless checks for us. So Amy also presented at 2 CENECON conferences and at last year's annual meeting. So it's been wonderful working with Amy for so long and getting to know her so well. If you don't know Amy, she has a very kind way about her, about making her points known, and also for bringing topics of ecology and data into most of her conversations. She also brought awareness to us for working in a being a one-person library and the unique role that she has at the Carey Institute. So we're going to miss you, Amy, on the board. So thank you.
So I would like to also add to what Tessa said. I've enjoyed serving on the board with Amy as well. And I want you to know it was a pleasure to get to know you and to work together with you. For the attendees, I want you to know that I've witnessed Amy take the lead when called upon to contribute a point of view that needed to be heard, and has demonstrated a keen sense of listening. Amy is acutely aware of what's going on around her and reacts accordingly. All of these traits are very much appreciated by this, your fellow board member. Amy, I know you have some exciting things planned in the near future. I want you to know you have my best wishes for continued success in whatever you take on. Thank you for the service to the board. Tessa?
This is your chance, Amy, if you want to say something.
I don't really have much to say except thank you. You're too kind, and this is strangely more difficult than I thought it would be, because you all have become such friends. So I put in the chat, and I totally mean it. I hope we have more business lunches than ever, many of you, and I look forward to staying involved with Southeastern, of course. I'm just a call or a text away. Thanks.
Thank you, Amy.
Thanks, Amy.